1 and 2. Done quite well on map 3 here. He's currently top fragging for his team, and he'll get a kill and continue to extend his lead over the rest of his cohorts, as that's Vandal gone to the C4.
Great response to the Buck play there, right in the middle of the Buck doing his job, throwing that up, making his move and triggering that. Exactly the kind of plays that need to be made, but 48 seconds left is still more than enough time for the positioning of everyone from Mouse to start to surround these players who are mostly focused in a small area that have the top floor control as well. Now, last time we saw Vicious win this, they managed to retake the top floor, which is not going to be the case this time. That gives Mouse a huge advantage as they start to open up Passport Wall.
And that's exactly where Pixel sights will be trained, holding a very slight angle against the Hibana, and all he needs is the head of England. And oh, he'll miss it. Oh, he won't miss it. Pixel connects, and he takes down England. This could be a major difference, and Nog eliminating Vertical means it's only 2v2. Hyper finishes off Nog, and Pixel will need to get an incredible 4K here. Diffuser is down, though. He'll get pushed from the other side. He takes out Beastly, and Pixel the clutch! Vicious will go to Vegas, and Pixel, what an incredible finish!
This is where things all started. This was the crucial defining moment that will basically just define MOUSESPORT's future. What do I mean by this? Let's just dive into this deeper. So, as you all may know already, if you're watching Pro League on Monday, October 22nd, you would happen to notice that there was a game played by MOUSESPORTS. It was the game that was known as Noble versus MOUSESPORTS here.
First of all, let's bring up the map veto. Then
The way
Obey
that they
does win.
The way that they had played this, it was just completely different. Okay, so you can see here we have Beastly on Ash. Vertical is playing Blackbeard. These do not make any sense whatsoever. And Vandal here, he's running a Ying, which you'll see in the upcoming clips here. He's running an iron-sighted 612, a shotgun on that Ying. And just the way that they play the rounds is so baffling.
Vigil.
So you can see here.
Noble had a mirror in play. I think ZZ 6 picked off of it.
So you can see here, if you look at all the blues right here, these are players. Those are MOUSESPORTS players that all spawned over by Warehouse, I believe, if not 4 of them. And what they're going to plan on doing is just rushing into the site, like just rushing through blue. You'll see.
Vigil. So a mirror will not be brought, and I mean, even with Mira available, there are a lot of teams that will eschew the Mira pick because you don't always practice with Mira. If you talk to a lot of teams, they usually do a lot of setups assuming that she's going to be banned.
Yeah, so many teams just don't bring Mira because the thing is, let's talk about the two of the most commonly banned operators in the game, Lion and Mira.
There. Acid finds the rush, the first one. England. He was Hibana. He was leading the charge. But the weird thing was about this is that he was leading the charge with Diffuser. Typically, you'd want to have Diffuser towards the back of the pack, and you want the other people to push up and try and get that Diffuser into sight. You want to propel your teammates. You want to propel your teammates into the site to help you get that Diffuser and plant it on site. Seeing England lead with the Diffuser, yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's just the beginning of all this.
Oh, actually, pause for a second. Acid takes down England as he attempts to rush into blue, and he's going to be confronted by Vertical, who will take him down in response. Blue control now well in hand for Mouse.
Now, this is a really weird setup, one that I haven't really seen much of. But you have 3 players within the same vicinity of a room. If someone like Breezy there with a shotgun were able to take advantage of that, I mean, they would easily be able to get them all out. And you got Crazy here peeking through this impact hole right here. Looking at the Hyper, he might actually, I think he gets the kill here, and then you also have Vertical. There's just the 3 people here, but where's the 4th? Where is Beastly? I think he's coming from over there in the stairs, but...
This is excellent for the attack right now, and as the defense starts laying down utility, they will be met with flashbangs.
This part was really confusing, though. There must have been some sort of miscommunications going on with the team, but they used their utility like that. This is meant to be a rush strat. There were people flashed. They would not have known. But you'll see here they didn't even move. They didn't do anything.
Vandal laying down his Candelas. Breezy trying to hold this push, and he runs into blue. One shot got blast, two. He will down one and take another. Beastly and Vandal get kills of their own, though.
And that's why grouping together does not really work out, because someone with a shotgun like that can just lay down such a hard blow to your team like that, and relay the same communication to the fact that, hey, you got all these people in blue. And then you can have people to start collapse on that.
And it looks like Hyper's going to be recovered. But no! Crazy with the rush, and Hyper and Beastly go down.
And then you have Vandal just all alone by himself on the other side with no teammates to help. Really, the way that I see this was just complete miscommunication on a rush. That was a failed attempt.
Easy, the final frag onto Vandal, and Noble take the first round.
That was a very interesting strat.
You're going to hear that a lot from the casters. You're going to say words like interesting, curious, odd, different. Because the way that the Mousesports is going to play this match, it will be completely different from what you usually see from Mousesports.
Momentum. That's a
Okay, so there's this clip right here, which shows Vertical in the garage. He's pushing up to the side here, okay? You can clearly, distinctively see the Valkyrie camera right there in his line of view. Unless if he's extremely tunnel vision right now, why wouldn't you be shooting that? Unless if he was expecting someone to push right now, but there was no one near. It's just really confusing to me that he would see that Valkyrie cam and not just have the impulse to shoot it immediately. It confuses me.
a good start. And he's also managed to get control of Garage, which is even bigger. Because he has control of Garage, and he's going to take out...
He then finally takes it out after, I think he got spotted or something.
this Valkyrie cam that is oddly placed. This Valkyrie cam that is oddly placed.
Did you hear what Kickstar said?
Been bigger. Because he has control of Garage, and he's going to take out this Valkyrie cam that is oddly placed.
It's not only Mousesports that are making mistakes here. It's also Noble. Noble is also having a pretty bad day as well. Vertical is not the only one who's having a bad game here. Noble's also having a bad game. Even though they seem like they're doing really good, these guys are also making mistakes that no one's highlighting on. Okay, so Vandal here. 1v2 situation, low HP. He has Diffuser. He knows where at least one of them is. And the way that he plays this part out, it confuses the living hell out of me.
And well, he's going to miss most of his shots on acid. It will need to be a retake. Diffuser is down, and Vandal is just going to simply frag out. C4 is going to miss its mark, and Vandal holding the top of red.
He has about, I don't know, 16, 15 HP. He's trying to push two people with full HP on the stairs with a shotgun. I do not understand the point behind his play when he could easily grab Diffuser, plant it, hell, even fake it, but pros don't fake one out. But I mean, he could try for a fake plant to at least bait someone out, listen for them, and then get one, then pick them off. You know, single them out. That's what you got to do.
Confusing plays right now from Van.
And I don't know why you would peek such a long angle with that shotgun. That is basically a death sentence for your HP.
So I realize he's aware of the pressure he's feeling, but he could pick up the Diffuser, place a Claymore, and potentially go for a plant. He has the time to make this play happen.
Exactly what Kickstart just said, what I'm trying to get at.
He knows two of his opponents are downstairs. That is obvious given the fact that he is not dead right now. So there's a potential for a play make, but he's a...
He then grabs the Diffuser and proceeds to run back over to the stairs at the same angle he was watching.
A little wary of the positioning. Plant, baiting it out, expecting someone to be at the top of the stairs already.
So he does the same strat that I was thinking about earlier. Planting it, baiting him out, trying to single him out. But it doesn't seem like the two players here are falling for it. And this is another mistake that Kickstar will point out later. These two people, they know they're playing, they know that it's a Ying playing a shotgun. Why are they stacked up on the same angle? It's an opportunity for an easy double kill if you're running a shotgun like a 612, which confuses me.
Bad spot from Vandal to sit. He is so easily pre-fired as he is very exposed as well. You practically don't even need to pre-fire him in that position. He's going to reassess. He's wasted a lot of time, and I think the reason is he's aware that there might be somebody in Garage, though.
The one thing I'm seeing here is basically This team is really not communicating the way that they usually do. They're really not. And this is just leading to a lot of confusion.
That is not the case right now from Noble. They're simply deciding to double up. Definitely against a shotgun, the wrong call. But they will win the fight as Vandal attempts to rotate through the pre-made hole. Acid will win the fight. I mean, just
Defenses in a row from Noble on both Church and CCTV, so they will finish off their first rotation here as first kill comes out to Yeti, and he's just going to peek Hyper as he tries to push in.
that is puzzling. That is truly puzzling. Hyper was going for a Claymore placement right next to the site. Yes, sure, that's fine. But nobody was watching his server window.
Actually, this is not correct. If you look here, okay, so
Comes out to Yeti, and he's just going to peek Hyper as he tries to push in.
That is puzzling. That is truly puzzling.
there's Beastly right there. If you saw earlier in the clip, he was up on his vent watching that window. Unless if he moved when I didn't realize it. But here, you see Beastly right here. He's watching that window, and you got Hyper going for that Claymore plant.
So they will finish off their first rotation here as for
Right there. You see.
both Church and CCTV, so they will finish off their first rotation.
You can see here the Sophia of Hyper. He's getting shot at by Yeti from the window.
Here,
Dies. There is Beastly, the Ash, watching the window. What's confusing to me is that he's probably either missing his shots or just not reacting properly. He was watching that window. It just confuses me.
as first kill comes out to Yeti, and he's
Mouse, they're going to try and open up the wall into BAP.
An interesting way to open up this wall here, but I can see why he would do it. I mean, right now, I'll get into this later. But an interesting way to open up this, because you could just lay prone there, and have your teammate watch the door behind you. You could get the kill into bathroom. The thing that confuses me though, I'm sorry I'm saying confused. This match really confuses me. Why he's sitting so close to the charges?
Bathroom. England will eat a Legion trap, but plenty of time to take that out of his foot. The prone hole is going to expose Acid, and it does work actually in Mouse's favor. Nice kill for England there. Excellent play. The impact trick did take some of the X-Karos, but still.
what? Going prone and just sitting by the open hole when you know somebody's going to be on the other side of it?
He won the fight.
You want to fight? Yes. A weird angle to open up indeed, but this is what Pro League's about. You gotta get weird, you gotta experiment, you gotta find new angles that no one's gonna expect and get those kills from them. Okay, so you can tell the team is doing absolutely terrible right now. Every single one of the members has died each round. Hyper, one of the top fraggers of NA, 0 kills, along with England, only 2. I mean, this roster, this MOUSESPORT'S roster, is one of the strongest in North America. Up there with Evil Geniuses and Rogue. They may not have this. They have the same experience. They have the same amount of playtime as those players. They've been around as long as them. I mean, I remember back when they were on Infamy. This team is well experienced. They are just having a really, really crap game so far.
Actually miss, and well, it's going to be a hot drop, but he's there. He knows one's on drone. ZZ could wait patiently. He'll get off drones, and ZZ picks up one, a double kill for the Valkyrie, and he'll just absolutely rip right through Vandal and Hyper. Beastly still on the stairs, will grab one.
That play from Noble, I'm going to break it down once Kickstar mentions what I saw.
Now, I might be mistaken, and I certainly hope I am, but I saw Hyper on drone there, and I'm hoping that his drone was downstairs, because we were looking from the top down. It was hard to tell from our perspective, but it almost looked like his drone was next to him. He saw the Valkyrie and then ran away from her. I'm guessing that's not the case.
Indeed it isn't. Allow me to go back. So, the moment he's talking about.
Cardiac sensor in hand of Yeti, you can do.
Shoot, just hit my. Okay. Here's Hyper's drone, okay?
Because that's typically where your pulse will sit. You've got the cardiac sensor.
It's right here.
In hand of Yeti, you can do.
Notice, it falls down the hatch. Right as ZC goes up the stairs. Literally, it's such a coincidental unfortunate timing. It's so unfortunate I can't even stress it. It's honestly unimaginable.
A complete sweep of the stairs all
And his drone's downstairs right now.
the way up to the landing above it. You can catch quite a portion of...
This is the moment Kickstar was talking about. Here's Noble right here. Hyper is on his drone. What Kickstar is seeing right now is that Hyper's drone is downstairs, but it looks like it is on that carpet and it sees Noble. But what he does next...
Kitchen as well on that cardiac...
He gets off the drone and runs away from the
Sensors
Valkyrie.
range.
The Valkyrie hears this, implying that there's someone upstairs and that he's on the flank. But the MOUSESPORTS, they don't know this because there is no drone.
ZZ lurking not too far off of...
Tell me, where do you see a drone? He didn't destroy any drone. He didn't even acknowledge the fact there was a drone. There's nothing there. The drone was downstairs. The reason why I point that out is because a lot of people are going to say, oh, his drone was upstairs and he was watching it and it was on me. No, there was no drone.
I'm sorry, I'm rambling at this point. Yeti gets the first kill. Vandal goes down. No Candelas.
This part Kickstar and I stress a lot. You're a Ying with a shotgun. Why are you pushing Garage of all places by yourself? It does not make any sense, and it's just stupid when you think about it. Because, I mean, shotgun in Garage. I sure hope no one's up on the rafters, so that way I can't get shot when I'm just trying to peek with a pistol. It's stupid. I don't know what you were doing there, Vandal, but that was just stupid.
And Solo entering inside a garage or even outside on drones, often putting themselves in here.
To get, or rather, Yeti is going to likely get behind Beastly, and yes, there it is.
Okay, this one is just... I'm pretty sure the team is losing their shit, talking over everyone, and he couldn't hear anything. Because there would be no way you could not hear a 3-armored dog running up next to you.
Oh no! Noble end it on...
Just like this. Like, I cannot see how a pro league player would not be able to hear that and just pre-fire that angle that you hear him coming from.
A knife kill, and the first half goes to Noble.
You see that he does look and acknowledge it and turns around. I'm pretty sure though that the team was just not using the comms properly and he couldn't hear it.
5-0.
This part here, I'm pretty sure they just weren't thinking. I'm pretty sure they were just experimenting with angles because, okay, the point that I was going to address earlier, this match doesn't really mean anything to MOUSESPORTS. They're not going to the LAN, and they're not getting relegated into Challenger League. They're not getting relegated into Challenger League. So it doesn't matter if they win or lose. This match is all about experimenting against other possible pro league teams and how they could play against them in the future.
Which makes sense considering Garage is unreinforced. They reinforced the closed panel instead of the far panel. That's the opposite of what you're supposed to do.
Oh, Kickstar. It can't possibly get worse from here, can it? Yeah, it can.
And there's 2 bodies as well that are sitting on top of that catwalk.
What?
That are sitting there without ADSs, so very immune to projectiles. The garage is still open. One frag grenade could possibly take them out, and there you go. They're going to exothermic charge the wall, and Yeti almost dies to it. Yeti, what? How does this even happen? So there you go. Frag grenade get tossed up. Yeti looking for a kill, but it actually falls right.
Terrible mistakes being made on both of these teams. Honestly, this match is just one of the worst matches I've ever seen in Pro League history. I've been watching since Season 3, back when Continuum was playing against Playing Ducks, and they won. But I mean, I just cannot believe this is one of the worst Pro League matches I've ever seen. I don't know what's going on with Hyper. Poor Hyper, man. He's 0-6.
To pick up the diffuser that Breezy dropped in the main hallway and start his plant as Crazy takes down Hyper. Arsenal control fully in the way of Noble. The peek from the tunnel will not bear fruit, but it does actually belatedly. Vandal gets a C4 onto Crazy. Beastly onto Yeti. It's a cleanup for Mouse. It's all up to Acid, and he won't be able to plant the diffuser in.
That round right there was exactly what a round in Pro League should look like. Not any of the other shit that I have seen in this match.
Time. Mouse take their second round, plant the diffuser with relative ease. It actually doesn't seem like Mouse has anyone in a position to stop this push right now, other than possibly the smoke from a long range. Using those.
Now, the way that I see this here is that they're either A, not once again, not communicating properly and realizing the fact that Buck is in this hallway here, ready to push on to B, or option B, they are planning for a retake strat.
Those gas canisters.
There's 2 drones inside a gym right now, so Yeti could possibly be getting information as to where somebody is playing. There's a lot of dithering going on from Noble right now, where they could possibly get Acid in position to try and go for a plant. As I mean, the wall is obviously shot out, but it doesn't look like anybody from Mouse is holding that specific angle. It looks like we're seeing Beastly, who's prone, just looking in another direction. Oh, Breezy will behead Vertical and start things off. Yeti just narrowly missing his target downstairs as Vandal, and Yeti will be on a wild goose chase, and Vandal being able to do significant damage to the Buck, and will finish things up here. Plant goes down, and, well, ZZ gets one. Breezy, another. Crazy, another, and it's only one. There you go. Noble will win 6-2 in one of the strangest matches that we have seen in Pro League, and a bit of a bittersweet moment.
I mean, just simple errors on that last one there. Swartz wasn't holding angles that they should have been. They weren't holding the site properly, and they were peeking angles that should not have been peaked. Just fatal communication errors and a bunch of shit like that. So this match happens. And then the community just outrages. I mean, look at this. Look at all the comments here. The team must receive penalty. This is nowhere close to sportsmanship. New eye by power. Sad to see Obey go his mouse through. Seems like they threw on purpose. That 2-round throw from Vandal was enough to convince me that this match is fixed. He had all the time in the world, and instead of planting, he was his own time trying to bait and get 2 kills. Yeah, that's exactly what he was trying to do. He was trying to bait and get 2 kills. You had to single them out. I mean, he's low on HP and he has a shotgun. What you want to do is you want to single out your opponent so that way they can't establish a crossfire. That's exactly what you want to do. Let's go to Twitter. So, essentially, I just found this here. This basically sums up what happened in the past 2 hours. Yeah, Noble wins, beats out Obey for 7th spot. Skies, he's allegedly stopped to playing Pro League and moved to coaching, and people are saying that Mouse through. Another key important thing that I need to point out here. This tweet here, this thread. England. GG's to Noble, we had a bad day with what started with a bad week in USN. That United States national match, it really brought down their morale. I mean, as you saw, they lost a 2v5. That's what I was saying, that it all started. It's because of that. It was because of that match. It was, it must have been just crushing. And then Kevin here, easily. For what it's worth, we scrimmed you guys on that map 2 days before, and the defense and attacks positioning, other than the first round, is what you guys did in scrim, but I'm not going to comment any further. And then here, my main man Canadian comes in, and he says they ran the first blue rush versus us before. All of this they have done in scrims and practice before. Why would the people think that they threw then if they were practicing this stuff before? The other thing that I have to mention is that they weren't. Another reason why they weren't throwing is because the match didn't matter. It didn't matter to them. They weren't getting regulated into Challenger League. They weren't going to LAN. It literally didn't matter. And then you have this guy here, Suzuka. He has just been going off all day. Nix usually plays Sophia but played Blackbeard today. This is incomprehensible and should be investigated by ESL. Essentially, he's just making a bunch of shit. He's just shit posting about this stupid accusation. C9 threw today. There was no way. Standing, so SSG has C9 to throw so they can secure the force play spot and get their Uber Eats bonus. I mean, it's just so stupid to see that people think that this match was thrown when it was just a really, really bad time, and it didn't even matter. The match didn't even matter to Pro League, except for the fact that if Noble won, Obey was regulated, but they had no intentions of that. They both swapped as well in time with Obey, so they had tiebreaker on Noble. Like, seriously. So, okay, what I'm getting at is the people are making accusations that MOUSESPORT'S threw so that way they could regulate Obey or relegate Obey into Challenger League because of some beef with Skies. When in reality, in order for that to happen, Evil Geniuses would have had to either lost or tied with Obey. So EG would have had to throw then. And I mean, why else would MVK be on the other side of the map at last round? One of the North America's best roamers and fraggers, for fuck's sake. Just confuses me and absolutely hates it. Well, since I mentioned Skies, let's go over to Skies' Twitter. And it says it's not been, he has been. So this is the tweet here. Final game as a player was fun. And he says it isn't bait. That he's been wanting to coach since Paris, but the team had asked me to finish out the season. News coming soon. He seems to be having some good attitude, but then these tweets here, we all know what's gonna happen. LOL. Congrats to Noble, though it would have been cool to see. I'm guessing he meant to see an actual match. And everyone here is saying that they're through. When the evidence is clear that they didn't throw. And this was a tweet from Vertical. I don't blame people for saying we were throwing against Noble because we did play very poorly. Yeah, you did. We came off a bad week starting with a heartbreaking loss against Vicious in the US Nationals. A heartbreaking loss against Vicious in the US Nationals. See, that is so demoralizing of them. It is so demoralizing of them. He doesn't even want to talk about it. Well, okay, he's implying the other match. Okay, the U.S. Nationals match just absolutely destroyed MOUSESPORTS as a team. And he doesn't want to talk about the match. Everyone saw that it was a mess. Everyone did. I mean, hell, even Noble was having a mess. So if you're saying that MOUSESPORTS threw, then why in the hell was Noble making all these stupid-ass mistakes? Like, if any team was going to be throwing, it would have been Noble then, because, I mean, who else would run right next to a thermite charge and nearly get killed? We came into this week trying our new roles, which is why you haven't seen me playing on fragging roles in today's match. And because Noble is an aggressive team. Noble is known to be aggressive. Yeah, I mean, breezy, for crying out loud. The roles in... okay. What I mean by that is Breezy had an insane shot on the window of Cash. Well, no, what he did is he had an insane shot, actually, onto Garage. It was onto someone, I don't know who, but he essentially shot him through a wall with the SMG-11 red dot. Anyway. The roles in scrims this week didn't really affect us till match day, where it got us in the end. Today, the rush first round is a one-time thing when a team is roaming heavy. We risked it and didn't work out. I don't really remember much of the second round after I got the pick early on Duck and Garage. We've been struggling a lot on Club in general lately, and last week against Vicious is a good example when they beat us on that map. The situation we were in on this week, with both teams being regulated and us being the ones to basically choose who gets regulated, stinks. I was never a fan of the auto relegation anyways, and it sucks to see any team go into relegations. I have good friends over at Obey and Noble. I played with most of these guys for like 3 to 4 years, and to say we threw a match versus Noble to get Obey relegated is ridiculous. Sorry for letting everyone down. The fact that he is apologizing for this just shows how honorable of a man he is. He has good friends at Obey and Noble. I mean, I don't get why people think that there's no sportsmanship around 16s. There's plenty of sportsmanship. Everyone's so friendly. One of the main reasons why I want to get into Pro League or Challenger League is just because everyone's so friendly and welcoming. So much sportsmanship. And the fact that he mentions here, where is it? The situation where we're in this week, both teams getting relegated, and us being the one that chooses who gets relegated stinks. The fact that that is put on your shoulders as a team, like if you win, this team gets relegated. If you lose, this team gets relegated. Either way, you're not helping that team, and it just sucks being in that position because no matter what, you end up having to kick out a team. I can imagine they went into this match knowing that and having that big loss at US Nationals on top of that. So essentially, what do I have to say about this whole entire thing? MOUSESPORTS did not throw. They had a really, really crappy game that they played against Noble, and they were attempting to experiment with strats that they had done in scrims and other practice matches, and were experimenting with roles swapping. Like, for example, Vertical on a Blackbeard and Beastly on the Ashe. Completely swapped roles. Beastly tends to be utility, and Vertical is the fragger. So they swapped the roles around, they experimented, they tried to see if anything new could be worked out, and they wanted to do it against a Pro League team to see it work. So long story short, MOUSESPORTS did not throw. They just had a terrible game. And I hope that everyone can cool down about this and just take a look back and see just exactly what happened. So thank you for listening to me. I am Gormka, and I hope you guys have a good day.